Are you hitchhiking, Jim? Ha ha ha. There we go. All righty. So wonderful to see these familiar faces. Your familiar faces. Well, I'm Robert Beatty, and it's been a year of these mornings. A year, imagine that. Of course, at this point in my life, a year doesn't seem like that much. It is a few mornings, though. So many different mental states, so many different emotional states. Life has gone through some significant ups and downs. Got word last night that a dear friend of mine just contracted COVID. He's got plenty of support. I think he'll do fine. Hope so. So this is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community, which is a vibrant, alive collection of human beings, despite or maybe with the support of COVID. COVID-19. Strange, a word that we'd never heard of has become such a part of our vocabulary. So this is a teaching in the lineage of the Buddha, in the Theravadan lineages. Theravada means the school of the elders. Within 100 years after the death of the Buddha, there were 18 different schools. There had been all these schisms. And this is one of the earliest ones, if not the earliest. Is a rather conservative perspective on the Dharma. And it's the one that brings us mindfulness. So, guess it's time for a poem. This is from Lao Tzu, who was either a person living at the time of the Buddha close, but over the mountains in China, or it may be a collection of wise sayings from the wise elders. From the Hua Hu Ching, number 29. Don't think you can attain total awareness and whole enlightenment without proper discipline and practice. This is egomania. Appropriate rituals channel your emotions and life energy toward the light. Without the discipline to practice them, you will tumble constantly backwards into darkness. Here is the great secret. Just as high awareness of the subtle truth is gained through virtuous contact and sustaining disciplines, so also is it maintained through these things. Highly evolved beings know and respect the truth of this. Don't think you can attain total awareness and whole enlightenment without proper discipline and practice. This is egomania. Appropriate rituals channel your emotions and life energy toward the light. Without the discipline to practice them, you will tumble constantly backwards into the darkness. Here is the great secret. Just as high awareness of the subtle truth is gained through virtuous conduct and sustaining disciplines, so also is it maintained through these things. Highly evolved beings know and respect the truth of this. Just as high awareness of the subtle truth is gained through virtuous conduct and sustaining disciplines, so also is it maintained through these things. Highly evolved beings know and respect the truth of this. And so, here we are. Rising early. What's the first thing to do? Well, there's bathing and bathroom functions and maybe some coffee and letting the dogs out and all that stuff. But then there's this collection of friends that are waiting for us. Probably not waiting, rather being, but gathering around a particular electronic channel on a flat screen, around the campfire of the Dharma. And we can remind ourselves. We have no idea what's going to happen today. We have some plans. I have a calendar that's got appointments and things to do. More than can be done in the day, actually. So we have the refuges, the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in being awake. I take refuge in the way things actually are. And I take refuge in the community of practice. That's us. A community of true friends, friends on the path. Kalyana Mita is a term, it means spiritual friends. And so let's do very little. Let's find a comfortable, upright spot to sit. Let's turn the mind toward gratitude for a few moments. There are so many potent reasons why none of this should work. But this human body is working this morning. The heart is beating. Blood is coursing through miles and miles of arteries and veins. Digestion is working. There's no war locally. Our children are probably as safe as human beings can be. And we have the Dharma. Some worthy gratitude there. So let's sit. Using the breath as home base for orientation. opening to life. Each breath has a beginning. That truth alone, to truly embrace that, to observe that, to be present with that, illuminates the entirety of the Dharma. There's nothing to figure out. There's no requirement or plan of creating a better, more efficient self. There's the refuge in the present moment, in now. A breath begins, rises to fullness, declines, disappears. In the experiential realm of the mind, thoughts appear and disappear. Mood comes and goes. one dimension of mindfulness is that it remembers. It remembers the intention of having a primary training object, of breathing in and breathing out consciously. And of course, mindfulness comes and goes as well. And so we find ourselves somehow lost in trance states of wanting. I want. There is wanting. This moment is inadequate because there's something wanted. I want that. Or it's opposite. I don't want. There's disliking, aversion. This discomfort is not right. Or perhaps there's restlessness and agitation and worry. Sense that something has to be done. I have to plan for the emergency. What if this or that bad thing happens in the world or with my friend or my child, my pet? Or maybe the world is just too much with us and we are falling into sloth and torpor and dullness. Or perhaps there's doubt. None of these, quote, hindrances are a problem. They are the fabric, the constituents of what we turn into awakening. And it all happens right now. This now, right now. Each breath has a beginning. There is then an expansion of the chest and abdomen. The air rushes in through the nostrils. By the time fullness arises, the beginning is long gone. By the time ending occurs, fullness is long gone. The same is true with thoughts. With all the stories that we carry. I am a this, I am a that. I am like this, you are like that. Life is like this. I am like this because of what happened in my childhood. These are all relative truths. And we practice the discipline of letting them all go. observing how discontinuous the states of wandering mind are from being awake. They don't coexist. Resting back into the present moment. Into right now, here. When parting from Ruth Denison, there was a blessing she often shared, which was, enjoy the beauty of your being. Let's go beneath or before the various challenges of our lives, the waves of difficulty, and reflect upon our beauty, our goodness, our kindness. Reflect upon your kindness. About your willingness to actually get up early and do a practice like this, to support friends in practice. Acknowledge the fact of mindfulness. It may not be here 100% of the time yet, if it ever gets to be 100%, but it's here more than it used to be. Perhaps a few magic incantations like, may I be happy, may I be free from fear and danger. May I learn to see emotions for what they are. May I develop patience with my perceived inadequacies, obsessions, compulsions, addictions. And maybe looking forward to the day that lies before you and clarify the intention to be mindful before all else, beneath all else. Getting into the car, remembering, yes. Sitting for a moment before pressing the ignition button or turning the key. When turning on the computer, pause and press the button mindfully. When opening the fridge, conscious. And let us come home fully, deeply into contact with the body touching the chair. Into the coming and going of the breath. Into the life that is the hands. Into the life of the face. And I'd like to call to the altar of our hearts. My friend of more than 40 years, Carl Culberson. who's preparing for his departure. California. He and his wife Mary were very important in my getting over the obstacles to having children. Loving psychotherapist of tens of thousands of people, I guess, or thousands anyway. Go to the light, Carl, when it's time. And please, let's all remember our friends who we know are suffering. Our children, our parents, ourselves. May all beings be free from fear and danger. May all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings share in the merits of our practice.